Hello everybody! Guess what? We're live today. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's so great to see you. Fran just said she sent me some recipes for the cookbook. Yay! I'm excited to see what you sent. Hi everybody. Today we are assembling the last half of the sashing units. There's going to be 24 of them. Hi everybody. I hope everybody made out well with the storm. I know it's headed up northern states and areas above me. We still have gray skies. I'm hoping that, we have Starlink internet now. Cloudiness affects my internet just a little bit, but I hope that we're good to stream live today. I think we are. Hi, everybody. It's so great to see you. Wanda, you've been busy canning this week. You've been so busy. It's so great to see everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Even if you're not making this quilt, come hang out with us. I'm so glad we can start going live again. Yay. Wanda, I need to go check my P.O. box. I probably won't make it until tomorrow morning. So I'm excited to see your recipes too. Hi, everybody. Yeah, Sylvia, we got Starlink internet, well, some time ago. But life and recovering and all that fun stuff has kept me from going live. But I think things are getting back to normal. And I'm looking forward to getting back to doing lives on a more regular basis. Just to let y'all know, I'm out of practice. So y'all bear with me. Plus, I have a different setup. So I'm still working out the kinks of everything. Okay, just a couple of things before we get started. Do you know what, though? I'm a little bit sad because in the pre-recorded videos, I can share like video updates of what we are up to here at our house. And I really enjoy sharing those things with you. I haven't yet figured out how to play like a little video snippet before starting the live. Maybe I'll work on that next week. I don't know. But I miss like sharing that stuff with you. Thank you, Cheryl. I'm doing really good this week. Just a little quick update. I went and had some adjustments done. But my bite is still off. And so guess what? I'm getting new temporary teethies. On August the 21st, they'll be ready. So I hope it'll fix like my bite. But I'm doing so good. I'm 3 weeks post extractions. I still talk with a little tiny lisp, so ignore that. But I'm doing really well. I see something yellow on my screen. Hold on a second. Yeah, I hope y'all aren't going to be buffering too much. The cloudiness is affecting my internet, unfortunately. So hopefully y'all don't buffer too much. And before we get started today, I do want to share a couple things with you. If you are on Patreon and you are interested in doing the all-day landscaping class, there's a replay of a Zoom we did this past week posted on the Patreon page, and so you can go check that out. And there is a PDF handout with supplies you might want to gather for that class. Okay, and then I posted my watermelon mug rug in my Etsy shop. Just a shameful little plug for my Etsy shop. Before we get started. But isn't that so cute? And y'all, this is so easy. You assemble 3 pieces at the bottom, then assemble the background in that seam there, and then do your applique. There's a placement guide and everything for this. Super easy. Y'all don't need a video on this. You know what to do. And so yeah, that's in the Etsy shop as of like 2 days ago. And if you haven't seen it yet and you want to go vote, I'm going to leave the voting open a couple more days, but y'all, we're gearing up to do a pixel quilt here on my channel. Have you ever wanted to do one? I had the bright idea to do circles, but I've changed my mind on that, y'all, because it's just way too complicated. But do you want to see what you could go vote for? Let me just change to this camera here. All right, so there's 3 options to vote for if you haven't already done so. There's the Highland cow, right? Isn't that cool? There is the kitten. Isn't that cute? And then there is the butterfly. Currently, this one is winning. So more than likely, this is the pixel quilt we're going to work on here on YouTube. This will be a YouTube free project, and I hope you follow along. Just to give you a little bit of information about this quilt, it's not going to be super big. I'm kind of done with doing big quilts for a little while. I don't know about you. But this is going to measure 40 inches wide and 40 inches long. And I've been playing around. I'm going to give you a little grid that you'll print off to help you with the placement. Each one of these little squares is going to finish at 1 inch. 1 inch. So I was playing around at first. I thought, well, we can get a lot of detail if we do 1/2 inch finished squares. So look at that. Isn't that cool? But then I thought, this is too much, right? And then I changed it to 1 inch finished. And I think this is more manageable, right? I used the interfacing that I have bolts of on hand because I do lots of t-shirt quilts. It's my favorite. I didn't purchase any special gridded interfacing. I used my Pelon P44F and I made a grid. And so I feel like anybody could do this, right? And we're going to do it in sections. Look how perfect the piecing is on this. And I didn't even have to try. You could watch TV, you could listen to a podcast, an audiobook, and you don't really have to think using that little grid method, right? But all your piecing is perfect. So I hope you're excited for that. I don't know when it's starting. I know I want to finish up this Sundae Stars mystery quilt first, and I'm hoping that we can breeze through that today. We're doing the sashing pieces. Let me just switch you here. Sashing pieces. Yesterday I hunkered down and I got 23 of them done. I only have 1 left to do. Here's my pieces, and I'm going to do that with you today. Y'all have to go to the post and vote. On YouTube, go to my channel, and there's a selection of different tabs near the top. And if you click on community or post, the post will come up where you can vote. Okay, for the pixel quilt. Here are my pieces remaining, and I have all of these sashing pieces done. Now this is the second half. We already put together 24 of these mid-season, right, of the videos, but we have 24 left to go, and that's what we're doing today. So here's the thing. I know many of you have worked ahead. You've already done this, right? You've already sewn them together. Some of you have already started sewing your quilt together, and some of you are already quilting your quilts. And then I know a lot of you are right where I am, where you have your clues done, but you haven't started sewing anything together. And then many of you are still working on clues and trying to catch up. So this video will be here when you are ready to get to this part, right? Okay, so these pieces here make up one sashing unit, okay? And I'm gonna put them in numerical order, even though the numbers of the clues don't go back to back to back, because some weeks we did other stuff to take a break from sashing units, right? But let me just lay them out in numerical order. So there's clue 11, and then clue 12. Next would be clue 14 and 15. Clue 17 and clue 20. And I'm going to leave that on the screen for a minute so that if you're sewing with me live, you can go ahead and lay your pieces out just like this. If you're watching and you're going to sew later, maybe you can take a screenshot of this, right? There's no PDF printout instructions for today. This video will serve as your instructions for putting together your sashing unit. Quilting girl, you just went and voted. Yay! I hope you told Gangan I said hello. That quilt should be so much fun. And I don't think I'm going to shop for any fat pieces. I'm going to just pull from scraps that I have. All right, so 11, 12, 14, 15, 17, and 20. Y'all, today's the first time I'm sewing with my new baby lock. I'm excited. I hope I am not freezing up. I really hope I'm not freezing up. I'm going to give it a second before I start sewing. That's a stinker. Y'all bear with me for just a second. Last week, I tried to do a Zoom. Oh no, what did I do? Last week, I tried to do a Zoom Friday night and my power went off. So that stinks. I missed hanging out with y'all during that. Give it just a second. I just want to make sure I'm moving. I don't want y'all to miss this. Okay. Mimsy said, what made you decide to get a new machine? Well, a couple things. I really want to love doing embroidery, but I didn't really love my embroidery machine. Okay. And so that's been something I've wanted to change for quite some time. Okay. And to be really honest, I had no issues with my Juki. I love that machine. I still have it and I will still absolutely use it. I don't know. It was just time. Do you know what I'm saying? It was just time. Okay, are y'all ready to start sewing? So what we're going to do, instead of going back and forth a couple of different times, all right, we're going to match up in pairs. Okay, so I'm going to do this on the screen right here. We're going to take 11 and 12, and we're going to flip 12 under. But this is the seam we're matching up right there. See that? And when we do that, the two browns should just nest together, just like that. And what we're sewing is right on that line right there, from edge to edge. These two pieces, 15 to flip under, and we're matching up those two seams. S words are hard for me. We're matching them up right there like that, right? So that's what it'll look like when we bring it to the sewing machine, and we're sewing right on the line there. And then these two pieces, I'm going to flip 20 underneath, and we're matching up those seams right there. And we're going to sew right on that line. So when you bring over your pairs, this is what they're going to look like, right? That's your seam, that's your seam, and that's your seam. I'm going to leave that on the screen for a second because I feel like that might be helpful, because it does look weird, right? When you bring it over and you're not sure if you're placing them right. But I'm going to leave that on the screen for a minute. I'm going to try to fix my screens because I messed it up. Open that up. There we go. That's better. Gloria says your granddaughter votes for the kitten. Isn't that so cute? Sheila, I saw where York County was out, Williamsburg was out, Gloucester, of course we were out, and we lost power Saturday too. We were out Saturday mid-afternoon until about 11:30 midnight Saturday. Thank you, Evelyn. Yeah, I'm really excited about my new machine, and I've used her a lot already. Okay, so what I'm going to do is switch the camera over to the sewing machine, and we're just going to bring these back to back and chain piece them. Okay. Here she is, y'all. You don't even really see the full machine. I hope my camera doesn't wobble too much. It's on a really long arm. And I'm just going to scoot these right on over right there. I still like starting with a leader. I'm just watching to see if the camera moves. Oh. Well, I guess it would help if I thread my machine, wouldn't it? Y'all give me a second. I thought I was all set up and ready to go, and I was not, evidently. I was not. Watch this magic. Push a button and it threads. Okay, let's try this again. And I'm matching up. It's going to be hard to see. See that? Matching that up right there. Oh no, she's wobbly. I'll have to fix that before we come live next week. I'm bringing in the next set, right? This is 14 and 15. And the third set, 17 and 20. This machine has 2 foot pedals, y'all. Isn't that awesome? All right. So there's our 3 units. Let's bring them back over here. Let's get this iron warming up. And I'm cutting the heat down just a little bit, but I already know that I'm going to have to remove the paper off of these sashing units. I already know that. Let me just cut them apart real quick. We're going to press these seams. And you know what? I like to take the paper off of that inside little piece right there. See that? And then I'm going to work it back that way and remove that little chunk of fabric or paper. I always want to say fabric. And then I'm just going to open up those seams and give that a press. Nope, voting for the pixelated pattern is on YouTube. I shared the 3 pictures on Facebook, but the place to vote is on YouTube. I actually have a poll up on YouTube. For some people, it says community. For some people, it says post. I don't know why, unless we're all working in different versions of YouTube, or maybe different browsers show different wording. But look for a tab that says community or post, and it should be at the very top. I feel like this is going to be the most tedious week we spend from here on out with this particular quilt, right? I've felt that all along with the sashing units. Y'all know that. So once we get past this week, we're going to be making a lot of progress really fast. Okay, next week we're going to be assembling mini chunks together. And we're going to finally start to see some progress, right? This part has to be done. So I figured let's just knock this out right in the beginning, right? And then next week, we're jumping into lots of other clues and making lots of little chunks. The wind is just a-blowing. Thank y'all for sharing how to find community or where to vote. For some it says community, for some it says something else. It's all very confusing, isn't it? All right, so there's our 3 little chunks, right? So let's put them back in order. 11, 12, 14, 15, and 17 and 20. I'm going to leave that on the screen before we move on so you can take a screenshot, right? I think that that's really helpful sometimes. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate y'all. I know a lot of y'all are not ever planning on making this quilt and you're still here. Thank you so much. I would tell you my YouTube channel has taken a tremendous hit during this quilt. I'm ready to move on. I cannot wait to see this quilt assembled, right? And I've enjoyed every single minute of it, but I'm ready to start doing some other stuff. I don't know about you. Okay, so there is our 3 little chunks, right? So next we're going to pair up these 2. So I'm going to keep 11 and 12 on top, and 14 and 15 I'm going to flip over just like this, right? So that's what it's going to look like when I bring it over to the sewing machine, right? And we're going to be sewing right on that line. So let's go do that. I'm going to have to work on refiguring that arm right there. So again, we're matching up that seam right there, right? And for me, the way we assembled the pieces, those 2 seams nest and catch on each other right there. I'm going to try to sew slow so that the arm doesn't go up and down and shake you up. And I just want to say, because I think I forgot, I am still using a really small straight stitch, right? Close together, that basically cuts the paper, right? See that? From one side to the other. I think my dad just came in. I don't think he knows I'm live. Okay, here we go. So there's my little section. I'm going to remove these paper nuggets. One side and then the other. If little bits of paper are left in there, it's okay. They're going to disintegrate as you use the quilt, wash the quilt. All of that will fall out, right? Just wash away. Yeah, Darlene, I think, you know what I think? I've done other series that were as long, well, maybe not as long. We've done this like 22 weeks now. That's really long. But paper piecing is not everyone's jam. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. But a lot of people have tried paper piecing for the very first time with this quilt and have fallen in love with it. So, and mystery quilts. Not everyone loves a mystery quilt either, you know? So it's like I'm taking a double whammy. Right? Okay, there is our sashing. And we have one more piece to attach right there, right? I'll leave that on the screen for a second. Tanita, when we're finished, this should measure 12.5 inches. Mine will not. I don't know if it's because I'm pressing with the heat and this particular paper doesn't like it. I don't know if all the seams, you know, the paper is really stabilizing it so well that I cannot get a stashing unit with the paper on it to measure 12.5 inches. But when I take the paper off, it relaxes and then it's 12.5 inches. So the sashing units are the only parts of this quilt that I'm removing the paper off of, because we do need those sashing pieces to be 12.5 inches. So if yours is not measuring right, you're going to want to take the paper off. Okay, we're going to flip these under. So I'm going to flip 17 and 20 like this, right? And we're matching up that seam right there. And that's what it's going to look like as we bring it over. Okay? I'm just catching that seam. Look at that hovering foot. Don't you love that? I did some applique on the watermelon mug rug, and the hovering foot was so nice. Okay, that is our last sewing seam for today. Today has been really good practice with my S words. All right, let me remove these paper chunks. I don't know that I've seen sunshine in several days. But tomorrow I think it is supposed to be sunny. So yay. All right, let's open this last one. And press. And we're pressing. Darlene, I didn't think about doing a Zoom today because we're supposed to have thunderstorms this afternoon. And based on my history last week when storms came through, we lost power. And I know all it's going to take is for one good gust, because the lines went down around the corner up the street. And although they hooked the lines back up, they're temporarily there. So it's just going to take just a wiggle, right, for the power to go out. And yeah, that was aggravating. So I figured if it's not going to be good weather, I'm not even going to try, because for me, it's just frustrating because I get to see y'all and then poof, no power. All right, so there we are, right? Isn't that pretty? Here is our finished. Look at those points. I mean, how can you not like paper piecing for that one reason, right? Oh, I'm going the wrong way. There we go. So again, this should measure 12.5 inches, but mine doesn't. Let me show you. Although, you're not going to see, well, you'll see over here, right? You don't see the very corner of my mat over here. But I'm going to line it up. And I am falling right at 12 1/4. See that? This is 12.5 right there. So when I remove the paper, right, I'm not going to take the time to do that with y'all. I think y'all would be so bored. But when I take the time to remove the paper and repress it, then it just does come to 12.5. I have to pull it just a little bit. See that give with all the bias, right? But it grows when you take the paper off. So again, the only units I'm taking the paper off of to assemble everything are the sashing units. That's it. Okay, so your homework is to finish sewing 24 of these. And then if you have to take the paper off, go ahead and do that, right? And for some of you, you'll be finished by this evening. But for many of you, it'll take a few days to do that. So that's all we're going to do this week. Okay? That's all, because that's a lot. Right? That's a lot. I hope the internet has acted okay. It's like, can't we just have a sunny day so I can live stream, please? I know it's been fantastic hanging out with you, and I really love having a place where we can all come together. You know, I do miss that, even though we did the premiere with the live chat. And that was fun. This is a little different. But that's all we're doing for this week, y'all. That's it. And I have nothing else to talk about. Vicky might lose power. I really think we got lucky with the storm because they were calling for tides, like pretty high tides here where I live. My neighbor down the road actually brought up all of his he does landscaping as a business, right? He brought up all of his equipment and has it parked here at our house because when it floods, it really comes up into his yard. No chicken updates. That's the only sad part about doing a live. I haven't figured out how to insert a video clip. I'll work on that. Wanda, I have not tried cake in a jar only because there's so many rules about canning, right? But I've seen if you put your jars in the oven, that renders the glass unsafe for canning. I don't know if that's accurate, if that's true, if it's a rumor. I've seen people make stuff and can it in the oven, but I've also heard that. So root bowls. That's awesome. Yeah, Mary Jo, post a picture. I want to see it. The little chicken, she is so cute, y'all. She grows every single day. We have a fence around a huge area so that they can come out and roam, but they're not going all over the yard. Do you know what I mean? But the fence, the holes in it are like this big by this big, right? And she was so little that she could go through the fence and back and forth, right? She's too big to do that now. Wanda, check it out. I mean, I think, you know how canning rules are, right? Some people say you can do it. Some people say you can't. I think the only thing is that when you do that, then save those jars for canning in your oven only, right? I don't know. I don't know. Look into it. Brenda, the pixel quilt is not going to be paper pieced. We're going to be piecing it on a foundation. And I did not buy any special foundation. although they have them out there. I just used my regular interfacing. And look at that. Isn't that pretty? This is not the pixel quilt. This was me trying out the grid. When did you plant your pumpkins? Probably too soon, Jean. But we have 5 that we've brought in the house before they go bad. And they're just like this big. They're little pumpkin pie pumpkins. I think we planted them in March. I can't remember. Okay, so Heather, you've heard that too. I don't want to say it's safe or unsafe. I'm just saying I don't want to render my jars where I can't use them to can. So look into it. I'm not the canning police. Great, Trinita. I will keep an eye out for them. Yeah, contact Ball and do some research and see what you find out, Wanda. I know lots and lots and lots of people do it. Darlene, you got your fabrics for the landscape quilt. I am so excited to do that. Is there a master cutting list from EQ8 for those of us not started yet? There is, Susan, but it's not accurate, so I'm not going to do all of the work to put that together, especially since this is a free pattern. And it is inaccurate, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if there's another layer underneath some of the patches that I don't know why it was not accurate. Hey, Sarah. Yeah, I missed you on Zoom as soon as we started, and I knew it because the power had flashed. I said, this is not good. And what was it, 5 minutes, and then poof, I'm out. Trinita, if you look on Facebook in the featured section, I have a post that has the address. You can double check it there. Y'all are getting ads. I do have the ads turned on because y'all, I have to be compensated somehow. But I have it set at balanced, so hopefully you haven't been bombarded with ads during the live. But I do have the ads on. I'm glad y'all were able to hang out. Yeah, Vicky sent me a text. I sent down an email because what happens when the power goes off is Starlink goes off. But we have a generator, and it takes it a second to come back on the power, and then for Starlink to boot back up. But I sent out an email saying my power was out, and we were using the generator. But I don't like to have my computer on using that thing because it like surges. You see the lights go, you know, if the AC turns on, the lights go dim or really bright. So yeah, I don't like to use my computer. I'm sorry about the ads, y'all. I'm so sorry. Ah, Homestead in the Wood with D. You're so welcome. I'm glad those videos are helpful. Thank you, Linda. It does help me out, y'all. Lots and lots of time involved in putting together any kind of quilt project, right? And when you make it free for everybody, it's hard to dedicate that much time to a project when it takes away from other stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? What you think about, you know what, Debbie, there's lots and lots of videos out there about electric quilt, EQ8, from teachers that know a lot more about it than I probably ever will. If you have a specific thing that you want to learn about, send me a message, and if I figure it out, I could do a video on it. Jean, I have a Pampered Chef one. So if you know someone who sells Pampered Chef, they carry them. That's the one I have. But you can also get them on Amazon, a different brand. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna go have some lunch. And I'm gonna go start picking paper off of 24 sashing units and prepping for next week. Y'all, next week we are jumping in and we are assembling quite a bit. So we're gonna make a lot of progress really quickly. Really quick. I hope you continue to share your progress on the creative crew. And I think that's everything. I think that's everything. I can't think of anything else. I'm drawing a blank. So I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe, everybody. And yeah, I will see y'all next Friday. Okay?